Talking about depression is not easy, especially when it comes to your parents. But the thing is, if your parents don't know that you have depression, they can't help get you help. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through how to talk to your parents and that you want to get help. If that is something that you're into, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so that you're notified every single time that I post a new video. So before you even talk to your parents, I want you to get clear on what it is that you want to say. Journal or write a letter about what it is that you're wanting to tell your parents. Getting clear on what you want to say and what the hopeful outcome of this letter is will help keep you on track and focus. It will also help prepare you if there's any potential negative or bad reactions. When it comes to emotional issues or emotional conversations, people don't always respond logically or rationally. This may not be news to you that you've been suffering with depressed feelings and moods, but it may be new information to your parents, which means that they may react very anxiously, they may react out of fear, they may look like anger. I'd like to take a moment to remind you that anger is typically a protective emotion, which means that when people express anger, it's really because there's something about the situation means that they care a lot about it. Is anger useful or helpful in this situation? Probably not, but that's where your parents may be at this time. A really helpful step that I really encourage teens to take when they're talking to their parents about this stuff is to tell a friend or a supportive adult. This could be a trusted sibling, it could be a teacher or a coach, somebody who you know has your best interests at heart. Being able to practice and talk it out with them can help you prepare for potential reactions that you may not have been expecting or thinking about. They may even be able to come with you to the conversation so that if you start to feel overwhelmed or nervous or you just can't articulate clearly what it is that you're trying to say, they can help reframe or guide the conversation in the direction that you're looking to have it go in. Now, here is the key ingredient to telling your parents that you think you may have depression, and that is helping them understand why it is that you think this. So there's a few different ways that I really recommend that people go about this. The first thing is to stay curious. Please do not assume. When we assume, you make a out of you and me. Plus, you may be taking the conversation off track in a direction that it was never meant to go in. Instead of assuming, stay curious. So ask questions, seek understanding, provide information to their questions. If you can speak from an I perspective, meaning from your own personal experiences in that time or moment, that will help make it so that your parents can understand what your experience is. One of the key factors in overcoming depression is connecting with others socially. And one of the ways that you can do that is by asking for help. So when you include your parents in the discussion, not only are you letting them know what's happening, you're also helping yourself by expanding your circle of support. So make sure that you take a moment here and ask for help. Tell your parents what it is that you need from them. And if you don't know, let them know that too. You don't have to have all the answers. You're not expected to have all the answers right now. And you can totally share with them that this is really confusing for you as well. Asking them to make an appointment with a therapist is a great idea because we literally specialize in this stuff. We're here to help you. And remember, this is not a one and done conversation. This is an ongoing conversation, which means that as you learn more information about what works and doesn't work for you and your parents, you guys can continue talking about it. You want to talk to your parents about your self-harm, but you just don't know how. If you're ready to make a change, I'm here to help you. If that is something that you're into, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so that you're notified every single time I post a new video. It can be really scary to think about talking to your parents about your self-harm because you just don't know how they could react. So that's why I want you to take some time and prepare. Get clear on what it is that you want to say and be sure that you're in a good, healthy emotional state to have that conversation too. You don't want to go into a conversation like this hot or scared. You want to be as calm as you reasonably can be. So if you need to take some time and meditate or take some deep breaths or use any of your coping strategies, now is the time to do it before you talk to them. And when you do talk to them, be clear. Use the words self-harm. Don't be afraid of using those words. When you are vague and unclear and wishy-washy about what it is that you're talking about, you actually leave it up to your parents' imagination to assume and fill in the blanks. And that can lead to actually worse states. Help guide them in the right direction of what's actually happening for you. Don't leave it to their imaginations. Your parents probably love and care about you a lot, which means that they've already been considering the worst case scenarios since the time you were born or that you entered into their lives. So give them a little bit of a break and don't leave it up to their imagination. We tend to fear the unknown, so once it's all out in the open, it makes it much easier to talk about with them as things progress. As you talk to them about your self-harm, when it started, how it progressed, make sure that you are showing them as well. Yeah, I want you to show them if you have any markings or scars. I want you to show them what tools you use. I want you to show them where you hide these things. Because once it's clear and out in the open, it makes it so much easier to talk about moving forward. As you already know, just because you're sharing this with your parents now doesn't mean that the urges go away. So getting it all out now will help them help you when you're feeling super emotional or exhausted, like you just don't care anymore. They can jump in and help out temporarily as you need them. Making new changes in your life, even when they're healthy, is really exhausting. So having your parents on board with all the elements can be really helpful. Be kind to yourself and to your parents. While you have been struggling with this for however long it's been, this may be new information for your parents, which means they might not always have the best automatic response. Keep talking to them about it, keep engaging, keep showing up, and know that this is a process. It's not a one and done conversation. It's something that happens over time. And there's gonna be bumps in the road for you and for them. We're not looking for perfection here. We're looking for progress, and progress, it's usually spiral, not linear. Use this conversation as an opportunity to ask for help. So tell your parents what works, what doesn't work, and if you're not already working with a mental health therapist, this is the time to ask them to link you up with one. We literally specialize in this stuff. Most of the teens that I work with who do have depression have known it for a long time, but they don't always know how to tell their parents. And the thing is that when you're under 18, you can't just make an appointment with a therapist on your own. You need your parents' permission. Now, of course, therapy is great for helping you have these conversations with your parents, but how do you even tell your parents that you think you need some professional help? Well, this is a question that popped up recently after I posted one of my videos about 4 signs that you need to see a teen therapist. And I thought, you know what? This is a great question because you need to know how to talk to your parents before you can get into that appointment. So I highly recommend using the acronym GIVE from DBT's Interpersonal Effectiveness module to help guide you through this conversation. Now, interpersonal effectiveness as part of dialectical behavior therapy is all about how to communicate better. And the acronym GIVE reminds us of the 4 skills that we want to use when we're looking to keep and maintain our relationships, which is especially helpful when you're a teenager talking to your parents. So let's jump into it. The first skill is to be gentle. So this is not the time to get aggravated and start blaming and yelling at your parents. While you may have known and recognized this feeling a long time ago, this may be totally new information to your parents. It may surprise them, they may be caught off guard. So making sure that you are gentle in your tone, words, and approach in talking with them and coming from a loving, kind heart is really going to help them hear what you have to say. So one of the strategies that I like to use in this area is called the positivity sandwich. And that's where you start and end on something positive and pleasant, because most of us tend to remember and react to the first and last things that we heard. These are called the primacy and the recency effect. So if you start and end on a pleasant, gentle note, your parents are more likely to respond in kind. I is to act interested. Even if you know what your parents are saying is not true or doesn't apply, be curious and stay interested what their suggestions are. It may have been things that you already tried, but letting them speak and process this information is really important if you want them to do the same for you. So make sure that you are maintaining good eye contact, asking follow-up questions. Don't accuse or assume anything. If you don't understand what they're saying or you're having an angry reaction, ask them about it. Just like you, your parents want to be heard and understood. V is for validating. We all just want to know that we're not crazy, that what we see, feel, and experience makes sense. And this is where validation comes in. Letting the other person know their experience is true and real, even if you disagree with it, is really important. Again, this may be new, surprising information to your parents, and as parents, they obviously just want the best for you. They really want you to feel well and do well. They may not understand how therapy can help with that. Letting them know, like, hey, I totally get that this may seem confusing because sometimes I laugh with my friends, but this is how I'm feeling on the inside. Hugely, hugely important. Letting them know up front what their experiences make sense and that you understand that before telling them your response is going to go a long way here. And E is to be easygoing. So try your best to keep the intense emotions out of the conversation. Making sure before you go in to have that talk with your parents that you've taken some deep breaths, that you've used any of the coping strategies that we've talked about on this channel before, anything to help regulate your mood before you go in and have that hearty conversation is going to be really important. Because if you start to get angry, irritable, explosive, your parents are going to latch onto that and think that you're just being a brat and not want to hear what you actually have to say. When you are too emotional, it actually takes away from the message you're trying to give them. I'm here to set the record straight. Being emotional isn't the problem. It's being able to communicate your emotions in a way that's meaningful, real, and effective. If that is something that you're into, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so that you're notified every single time I post a new video. Raise your hand if you've ever been called emotional by somebody. If you've ever been called emotional, you know it doesn't usually feel great. But what if I told you that being emotional is actually a superpower? When I was a kid, I was called sensitive and emotional so many times that I believed that that's just who I was. They weren't necessarily wrong about that. In fact, it's what makes me such a great, caring therapist today. But when I was a kid, it didn't feel that great. I didn't know that being emotional was a superpower. The truth is that when it comes to noticing, identifying, and expressing emotions, that can make people feel really uncomfortable, especially if they're not in touch with their own emotional experience. In fact, it can be really inconvenient for people to have to identify that the impact of whatever they did or said wasn't what they intended. As young children, we're often trained to express things that we don't actually mean, like telling somebody I'm sorry when you're not sorry. It can make it confusing to know how to trust what you're feeling and saying and trust what other people are feeling and saying too. It can be hard to know how to put words to your experience and then share that with other people in a way that they can understand and comprehend what it is that you're trying to express to them. That's actually why I created the 10 therapist approved tips for talking about your feelings, which you can get by clicking the link in the description. It's where I share some of my favorite strategies on how to talk about your feelings so that people can understand what it is you're trying to say and that they want to hear what you're saying too. I've been getting such a positive response to this new cheat sheet that I created that I decided I'm going to do something a little bit different. It's something that I haven't done before here. The Speak Your Truth program will include 3 different modules. Week 1 will focus on what is your truth, a guide to discovering your intuitive guide, purpose, and meaning. Week 2 is all about actually speaking your truth. These are the strategies for what to say and how to say it. In week 3, so you did a thing. Now what? How to deal with the aftermath of speaking your truth. You'll also get these bonuses: 14 affirmations for success, 3 guided meditations, and a live group Q&A call with me. You can get all of this by enrolling now at MalloryGrimsey.com/speakyourtruth. When you sign up, you'll have the opportunity to ask me anything about communicating and talking about your feelings. So take advantage of that. That way I can tailor this class to what you want to learn. I can't wait to connect and see you there. And if you know somebody who could benefit from this class or just the information in this video, please be sure to share this with them. You never know who you could be helping in the process. Thanks for watching.